Hey, how we doing, everybody? Afternoon. Welcome to another live stream. We're all in lockdown, unfortunately, so I did promise if I could get on, then I would. So here I am, and I haven't got a clue what I'm doing yet. Well, I sort of got a clue what I'm doing, to be fair. So how we all doing today? I think Mr. Video Monkey was in first today. And we've already had a super chat in from Simon's World. So Simon, if you're still there, mate, thank you very much. So yeah, we've got some chat already going on here. Paul Collins, hi Paul. Paul's watching me on the smart TV today. Well, I'd have combed my hair a bit better if I'd known that, Paul. Done me makeup. Yeah, Mrs. Cruncher, this whole click and collect thing, I mean, why is it essential to drive in, like, I don't know, however many miles, it could be 10, 15, 20 miles, to go and pick up some clothes? It's just not essential. Just putting all the staff in there at risk, really. It's also making people travel for like what isn't really an essential journey. So there you are. That's my little whinge. So Paul's saying that Boris is going to ban all imports from China. I tell you what, we'd be right in the lurch, Paul, if they did that, wouldn't we? Video Monkey saying that he don't think we'll have much left is quite right. So Video Monkey saying, I don't know, Daniel deleted that for some reason. Graham saying they're pondering the same in the USA. Here in Canada, we like Chinese stuff. In fact, much of Canada's west is Chinese. Let's pop that back in for you, Graham. Paul saying you've got RS components 15 miles up the road. That would be lethal for me, Paul. Excuse me. Literally just got back from the dog walk, so I'm a bit warm still. Afternoon, Georgie, how are you? It certainly would push the repair bills up no end, wouldn't it? Hi, Daniel. He's changed his mind 10 times. Afternoon, Colin and George in Lidl. Nick Petronics, hi Nick. Barry, hi. Luigi. Afternoon, Luigi, how are you? Rob Tiveridge, stuck in home for a few days. Yeah, I think we're all pretty much stuck in, Rob, unless we've got a pretty good reason to go out. Afternoon, Derek, how are you? And Sean at the Man Cave Workshop, how are you doing, Sean? Fat Tony, Rich. Breaker on the side. Yeah, breaker on the side, let it slide. Afternoon, Harvey. Afternoon, Doug McCartin, how are you? Stuart Martin, hi Stuart. And Brett Ski. Horrible day out there today. Yeah, I've just been out. I got soaked. I mean, I'm still a bit damp now, but it's drizzly stuff today. Here, Brett. Hi, Paddy. How are you? Afternoon, Paul Drake. So yeah, I was sort of like thinking what to do today, and I mean, at the moment, I've still got this Dynatron stuck on the bench in the way. Could I give you a 1036? Is that directions? Or I can't remember what 1036 is now. I've just been for a 10100 though, I can tell you that. Hi Andy Beck, how are you? Rob Hall, hi. Nice surprise. Well, I did promise that if I had a chance, I would come on in the week, and luckily, yesterday, I actually managed to get my accounts gone and off to the accountant to have a look at. So I'm sure they'll come bouncing back for amendments, etc. But at the moment, that's taken me a week and 2 days to get them done. So I'm sort of back to normal from tomorrow, really. Hi, David Tagg, how are you? You've ramped the thermostat up. I've got the windows open here. It's surprisingly warm. Oh, it's a time, 10:36. I knew it was something like, I knew it was something along those lines, but You can only buy essential goods here in Wales. For all other things, we have to go online for them. Yeah, see, the company that she works for, Derek, they actually do. They've got quite a very good online business. So why on earth they're dragging staff in and not delivering out to customers? I know. I think when they did the original lockdown, they actually delivered everything free of charge to customers. So, I mean, there must be a big margin in it anyway. Can anyone tell me how to ground a shortwave radio with long wire antenna on a second floor flat? You've just got to run it down. It's a tough one, Paul, really. Ideally, you want a spike in the ground outside and run an earth wire up the wall and into your flat. But second floor, that's a fair way up, isn't it? I don't know. You could try the if you've got radiators, you could try a connection to the radiator, but that's assuming it's a copper system and that the copper's grounded. 14, Paddy, what's that for? 1-4. Oh, 1-4 for a copy. Yeah, Harvey just said connect to the radiators. You can do, but yeah, second floor though, it's going to be a fair way up, isn't it? That's pretty much 3 stories, isn't it? If you're on the second floor, you've got ground floor, first floor, and second floor. I assume that's what you mean, Paul. You're struggling on ham. You're trying to use a long wire, are you? Long wire ain't great really for transmitting, Paul. You're going to get all sorts of problems with that. You'd be better off trying to get a dipole up. Used to use the cold water pipes back in the day. Yeah, it's all PVC, and the problem is, like, a lot of the stuff in the ground is plastic now, so it'll give you it'll be all right for an antenna, but if you're using it for transmitting, I'm not sure that would be a good idea, really. You can get an artificial ground, Paul. Have you heard of an artificial ground? MFJ make them. That might be the solution for you. Let me see if I can find a bit of info on that for you. Artificial ground. It's probably going to come up with soil. Yes, it is. Oh dear. Okay. I mean, this is an idea, but I can't find what I'm looking for. What's the starting of sold out of them? Radio World. MFJ 931. Here we go. Here you go then, Paul. This is Radio World. I don't know where you are, Paul. Are you down Plymouth way? So let's download the PDF for it. This is from Radio World. It's 99 quid, look. Whether that'll do it, Paul, let me just see if I can get that a bit bigger on the screen for you. Are you on my screen? Yes, you are. So that might be an answer for you, Paul. So a quick swig of water. I've never used one, Paul, but I know they exist, and I know it's got people out of the lurch before, so that might be a solution for you, mate. Apart from that, what everybody else has said, really. Oh, you endorse it? Yeah, worth looking at that then, Paul. No worries. Hi, Mr. Cody's. How are you? Dipping in and out between homeschooling. Oh, that's a bit harsh, and it's still schooling now, look, at 3:45? You're a taskmaster, Paul. I thought you'd have been homeschooling all morning and then playtime in the afternoon. Artificial ground, is that like AstroTurf? It is more intended for transmit, Nick, but obviously if it's going to work on transmit, it'll work fine on receive, won't it? Basically, it gives you the other leg of your dipole in effect, doesn't it? I think that's well worth a try, Paul. As I say, I've not used one, but and what did Paul give us a link to there? Ah, it's like the same thing. MFJ 931, yeah. Cheers for that, Paul. So, yeah, the ever-present. Let me just get some cameras sorted out here. The ever-present Dynatron Atlantis. So I've had a little play with this earlier this afternoon. I've put this plate back on, done that, got rid of all the nasty flux on the board, and the other thing I've had a go at is the power supply board. Let's see if I can get the overhead camera to reach over. Is the overhead camera on? Yes, it is. So I popped these two caps in now in place of the blue axials, and I've also popped this this one in. I don't really like that being mobile, but it's right in on the tag strip, so really it ain't going anywhere. And also, just to make doubly sure, I've just insulated the legs of that. I popped this clip back on because obviously it had this whacking great cap in it before. That's 500 microfarads. This is 680. The only thing I'd forgotten all about was this connection on the fuse here. I'd forgotten all about this connection, and I was looking at it thinking, hang on, where the hell's that going to? And of course it goes to the negative terminal of this cap. So I've just got to run a wire now from this terminal, probably go in underneath here, over to this. So that's my next plan. Hi Buzz, how are you, Stuart? Maybe time for a bit of hot glue under it. I'm really not sure. I mean, I can bend it down closer to the board and probably blob a bit of hot glue on it. I don't know what the general consensus is on that. Probably would be good practice, wouldn't it, to pop a bit of glue on it. I don't like hot glue though, to be fair. Because the other thing we were going to look at doing, or I was going to look at doing, was sticking this bridge rectifier in place of this Selenium metal plate rectifier. So again, what I think we'll do here today is we'll just have a bit of a mess about, because I've got something interesting over here to show you in a minute, but that's another thing. Hi Foxy, how you doing, Benji? No to the hot snot. Yeah, I don't like it. It doesn't look particularly nice, Benji, does it? I prefer to tighten, but it is pretty firm, to be honest. You know, that ain't really going anywhere. I've got it in on the tag strip. It's not particularly long leads, and it is, as I say, pretty firm. So Benji say no. Benji say no to the hot snot. The man from the Fox's Den say no. Let's just lift this fuse out now, just in case I pop it by heating it. I say I wasn't going to continue with this today. I've got an R707 I need to get finished. I need to do the quiescent current and midpoint voltage on that one, really. Daniel, Daniel's in, huh? Hi, very quigging. Off to do guided reading. Catch you in a minute, Paul. Come and teach me some guided reading if you want. I haven't seen much of Mr. Andrew Alsfer recently. I've sent him a couple messages as well and he hasn't got back to me. Hopefully he's all okay. Let's try and check in with all these people because you just never know at the moment. This ain't great, is it? This moving around like this. I don't like that very much. So that's the little cable clamp underneath. Let me just tighten that up a minute. I don't like that. Swinging around in the breeze like that. That's better. Because it's hanging on these transistor legs as well. Last thing we want is those snapping off. Okay, so I've got myself a bit of wire, but I think there's a bit overkill, really. That is a bit overkill. What else have I got here? There you go. So a piece of this will be fine. Like I say, all I've managed to do with this really is recap it today, tidy it up a bit. I need to sort of botch my nice new wiring about here. Let's pull that cap out of the way. Because this terminal here is the negative. Now am I going to be able to get my soldering iron in there? I should have done that before I'd done this cap really, but you know, hindsight and all that. And then again, anything, well, yeah, I'm going to struggle to get my iron in there, so I'm going to need to take this one out, I think. Let's pop a little bit of flux down there. Hopefully you can see what I'm up to. I've got it in fairly close actually. It might be too close. Might be doing your head in. Yeah, I've not seen him in the chat room or anything for a long time, so I really don't know what's up. Hopefully he is okay. You power supply fondler. Oh, I love a bit of power supply fondling. So let's cut this off here. There we go, so I can pop that one back in there nicely, out the way. Hopefully I can get this one back in. You can remember which wire goes where. Come on, get off. Okay, let's push that wire out now. Better. It was so neat as well, wasn't it? So I'm just going to put a little bit of flux on both of those, and I'm just going to there we are. So that's the power supply. The only thing, as I say, left is this Selenium, so I'm just wondering what to do about that. Shall we pop it out? Shall we try it first? If I remember rightly, we've got it bridged across. Yes, we have. So let's go back to the main camera for a minute, because we're in a bit close there. Let's get my stuff out of the way. Doing my Sweden. You do have the power to scroll back, Benji. Afternoon, Brian. How you doing, mate? Afternoon, Andy Tobin. How are you? Yeah, I was just trying to think of the neatest way to do it, Sean, to be fair. I'm just trying to think of the neatest way around it, so to speak. I'll put that clip back on. I did take that off initially, but it is part of the set, so I'm going to keep that on there. As I say, I'm not sure about this rectifier. Ideally, to sort of future-proof the thing, it ought to go. Some of you say leave it, some of you say change it. It was a 50-50 mix on Sunday when we were talking about it. So I'm really not sure what to do with that. I think it would be a useful exercise to try that in, because these rectifiers do pack up, and they kick up hell of a stink. Would a balun and ATU help? On a long wire, not really, Paul, because you're still going to need a ground. You know, really, your ATU ought to be grounded. All your kit in your shack ought to be grounded, really. But I think unless you can run a wire down, that artificial ground might be your answer, mate. Assuming that you're getting a problem. If you're not getting any problems, then don't worry about it. But if there's an issue, then I think that's worthwhile. That's what I'd be trying anyway if I had an issue with it. Unfortunately, with today's electrics, it's very, very difficult to get a clean supply. Right, now let me think. How do we do this last time? I don't like this little bit of tape around here, do you? That's horrible. I don't know, I think I have to think of something a bit better than that. I don't like that at all. Ideally, we want some sort of plastic shroud around there sort of like a box section, even if it's clear plastic, just to stop people putting their hands on the mains. It's very deceiving. It's such a small wire, it doesn't really look like the mains. Put a mercury arc rectifier in there. Change it. What about run away from it? I can run away pretty fast from it if it bites me, or if that's what you mean. Or you want about run away from this? I think we did sort of say that it might affect our voltage, changing that, didn't we? So I think what my plan is at the moment is to get the multimeter out again. We need to check it since I've changed the caps, just to make sure that everything's in the right way round. Is it better there or there? You want to be able to see the smoke coming out, don't you? You want to be able to see the smoke coming out. So which was the output? It was... that was the ground, was it? Let me just check. Yeah, that was the ground. I think that's the neutrals, so we want to be in there and there with it. On DC volts. Need me quick block blocker. My quick test. Well worth getting one of these Cliff quick test things if you are working on the mains. This one's still plugged in. Lifting the lid totally isolates it, and this has not got a plug on it, so no load. Don't forget we've not got a load on this. This is where we find out if I've connected everything up the right way around. Okay. You want to see smoke? Everybody wants to see the smoke. What's Doug saying? The low voltage seleniums don't go bad as often as the high voltage ones. Do so. It might be okay, but for future proofing, change it. Rob Hall. Thanks, Doug. Rob is saying he remembers the smell from selenium triplets in color TVs. The worst ball cabbage you could imagine. Change it. Just put a 5U4 in there, Brian. Magic smoke. Everyone wants the magic smoke. Let's see. Hi, Gavin. How are you? You're working this afternoon, so I'm going to catch up on the magic smoke later. Old and unreliable. I think you're right. I mean, it's... You think, how the hell can something like that actually fail? But I suppose it can it? Right, let's start winding it up. Let's see, make sure we've got any massive, ridiculous current draw on it. Okay, so we're just coming up to 100 volts on the Variac. I'm winding it up gradually on the Variac, just to have a look. So from the service info, we're looking for -18, I believe. It's a bit like you, Nick, is it? I think we're looking at -18. Let's So there's the schematic for it. So I'm measuring on these two pins, pins 6 and 7, and looking at that line coming out, pin 6 should be minus 18 volts. So this is the rectifier. This is the thing, if we change this, is whether this is going to alter this voltage at all. If it does, then we're going to need to probably put a resistor here, perhaps. I don't know. There was various ideas about that last time. So we're looking for minus 18. We've got minus 8 at the moment with 100. No flashing over or exploding yet. So 200, just over 200. We've got 16 and a half. And at 240, it's drawing the same. It's drawing 20 milliamps again. Minus 18.9. So I mean, yeah, it's sort of 1 volt high, but I don't think that's going to cause any problems. So you know, that's where we are with it. I've got it all turned off. Look, it shows you that capacitor is doing its job. Look, it's still holding its charge. Everything's turned off. Look, it's still holding that charge. Bob said it will work for years if it's working now. It would really stink bad. Old is good. That's surprising how long that cap's taking to discharge, isn't it? Right, let me have a look at that circuit a minute. I just want to have a quick look just to see where I need to be connecting the positive and negative here. So that's AC. I think a negative goes to the fuse, doesn't it? So that's coming out, going to the fuse. Yeah, okay. I'm just going to fire that up again a minute. I'm just going to check the voltages on this rectifier a minute. Let's just have a look, see where we are with the cameras. Okay. So hopefully you can see that. So let's take that out of there. So I reckon, looking at this, the blue is the negative and the green is the positive. Yeah, okay, so what, we've got 31 volts coming out of there. And if I switch to AC, go across these two terminals, this is our AC voltage, 24.4. So we've got a voltage increase on the rectifier, across the rectifier, which you'd expect. So blue is negative and green is positive. So that sort of coincides with the wiring on the actual capacitor here, because we've got this diode over here that's rectifying it as well. Unloaded, yeah, it is unloaded. A dipole would definitely be better, Paul, yes. A dipole cut for the primary band that you want to listen to. The problem is if you're listening to low frequency, you're going to need a whacking great dipole. That's the only thing. But you wouldn't really need a ground with a dipole as such, although it is always advisable to have a ground on your shack, as I said. Right, let's turn that off. Just pop the lid up on that to make it safe. So I think what I'm going to do is, we're not connected to anything, so we can't damage anything by changing this. So I think I'm going to change that and just have a little play. See how we go. That's the plan anyway. So let's get Mr. Rectifier out of there. So there is a bit of voltage knocking about, but don't forget it's a transformer, so we haven't got any high voltages. The most we've got is about 30 volts floating around on this, so no issues there. Let's get that undone then. I'm just feeling whether that was warm, but no, I don't think it is. Now, will that nut and bolt fit through there? Oh yes, it will. Look at that. Huh. That's a bit of luck. Okay. Ideal. Ooh, my tummy. Right. That's it might be better to stick on the overhead camera, actually. You probably see a bit better there. Yeah. There we are. So as I say, this bolt fits quite nicely in there with its washer. Nice. We've got to try and think of some way to do it. I mean, it's safe enough, but we want to insulate the wires ideally. So if we look at the underside of this, if you can see that or not. This is our new bridge rectifier. So I am disconnected from the mains. So you can see we've got a positive there on this chamfered edge. Opposite corner to that is negative, and then we've got our AC there. It doesn't matter what way round you connect those two. It's these two you've got to get right, positive and negative. So we need to remember that the positive is the one with the chamfer and the negative is directly opposite it. So I'm going to stick the positive there, so negative is going to be back there. I might have to actually get a smaller bolt for this, but I don't want to cut this one down just in case we decide to go back with the other one. So for now, I'm just going to pop it in as is. As I say, this is by no means the final. It's just an experiment. It's something that I've always wondered about these old sets. I don't think I've done many where I've changed them for silicon types. So again, I'm not going to make it permanent as such yet, though that does seem to be clear in there just. Yeah. Oh no, it's just touching the deck. So there we are. I can probably zoom out now, can't I? I'm sure you don't want to see it that close. It does look like it's made to fit, doesn't it? Afternoon, Phil. George is back from Liddell. Brian Tyndall. Yeah, interesting. Sean is the man. He got the spares. Okay, right. So we said that the green was positive, didn't we? Is it going to come off of here or not? No, they're wrapped to hell, aren't they? As per usual. I'll tell you what, that stinks just heating that up. Okay, we've got two connections to the positive. So let me think, what's going to be the best way to do this? As I say, this is only going to be temporary at the moment, just to try it. So I'm just going to tack it on, I think. I'm just going to put a couple sort of J hooks in the end of it. Dang. So we get my little jeweler's pliers. Just going to grab the end there and just give it a little twist over. Put that over there. And do the same with that one. Pop a little bit of solder on that. Let's go in a little bit closer. Get over there. Come on, take. Thank you. Oh, that's blobby. Blobby, blobby, blobby. Oh well. Plenty of solder. Right, that's the positive. Let it cool down a bit before I start bending it about. Let's do the same with this. I should cut a bit of the wire back. Pop a little hook in the end. So these are useful pliers, these. Well worth picking a pair of these up if you haven't got some. I say they're only cheapy little rolls and things, but okay. So how are we going to do this? We're going to bend that sort of over like that, perhaps. Don't really like them overlapping. It doesn't really mark on this thing what terminal's what, does it? You're just supposed to know? I don't know. Gonna have to look back at my pictures to find out which was which on there, aren't I? So say that may end up going back on. We don't know yet. Hi Simon, how are you? Theo, afternoon Theo. Gary, hi Gary. They're all coming in. Tea break must be over. How are you keeping down there anyway, Gary? It's a pain in the neck. I can't drop your cup in, mate. I haven't got around to doing any posting yet, people. So if you're waiting on your prizes, apologies, but I should get them out this week. Apart from obviously the RP30, which needs to get done. It's one of the reasons why I'm carrying on with this, really, because I want to try and get the RP30 recovered on a live stream, because I know a lot of people are keen to see that happen. Everybody wants to be able to recover the hackers. Pa-ting! Okay, there it is. It's not pretty, is it? It's not pretty. I mean, there's loads of space between those wires, to be fair, so there's no way that would cause any problems. But I think going forward, cut these right the way down. But I mean, that doesn't look too bad, does it? Okay, right. Back to the main camera. Done on me water. I want to go and get a water top up in a minute. Okay, I think I'm going to bring this up on the Variac. We'll do the same again, we'll monitor it. Let's stick my probes in again, so it is that one and that one, I believe. Is that right? Yeah. Okay, let's see if my my Heath Robinson rectifier has done anything. You should be able to monitor for smoke from that angle. I'll just move it over a little bit so you can see the smoke better. I don't know where the flames are likely to come from. Okay, winding it up gradually. Not drawing any current, which is good news. Let's leave it on 100 volts and I'll just come back and check the voltage. So it's 100 volts minus 8. That's about the same, isn't it, as we had just now? I'm sure that was about the same as we had. No, no beer, no beer. Is the house with no beer, Rich? Watch a transformer, that's the best bet for flames. Cheers, Brian. That's pretty stable. It's not ramping up. So let's go higher. Just over 150 volts, minus 12. As I say, my my variac here has got a trip on it, so if there was any problems, it would be not good, was it? Okay, so we're only on minus 15.7 here, and I'm on 200 volts, so it's going to have a fair jump to get it up to 18 volts, isn't it? Maybe the voltage drop is too high across this. Let's go up to 240. Well, it's drawing the same current, and it's minus 19. It was minus 18.9, wasn't it, before? So I don't think... Do we need to worry about that, do you think? Hi Dennis, how are you? You got some marshmallows ready for the fire? Dave, how are you? Have you got 3-phase yet? Mr. Gubb, welcome. No, we haven't got three-phase, Dave, but I've got enough kit here to need it, haven't I? Transformer is what's most likely to go nuclear if there's shorts or high current. Once you load it, it will drop a bit. As I say, the other one was 18.9 nicks, so I mean, let's keep it on for a bit. I don't think anything's smelling hot. It is creeping a bit, isn't it? Whether that's the transistors warming up, still only drawing 20 milliamps. Well, between 10 and 20, it's just under 20 milliamps by the looks of it. So let's have a look at the, well, there's no AC on that, is there? I wouldn't have thought. No, there's no AC on there. Let's just try the positive and negative on the rectifier and see what that's doing now. Because what was it coming out before? It's 30 something volts, was it before? Hang on, that's AC, isn't it? Let's try DC. So it's about the same. It's about the same. It's about the same. So sadly, no smoke, people. I think that's fine. I don't think there's going to be any issues. No, it's for that plug is used to connect it to the chassis of the radio. It's not a valve one sign. Hi Dave, how are you? No, sorry. You could change the main filter cap for 10,000 microfarads for extra smoothing. So I've gone up in size from a 500 to a 680, so I think that's fine. I don't think there's any issues with that. It's just a case of tidying this up a bit now then. So I think if I just move these down lower, then snip the top off, as long as I'm not too close to that, but then saying that's no different anyway, is it? So I think what I'll do is, if it will let me, is just move these down lower. Just to make it a bit neater. I don't like it looking untidy. Don't want big blobby solder on it either. Get off. I try and sort of get them the same height so they don't look rough. Ah, you swine. Get down there. Can't really see that. So, yeah, that ain't a very good joint. That ain't very good. Better. Move that down a fraction. Now this one's going to be tricky because we haven't got a lot of length on that wire there. I might have to leave that one long. Let's have a look. Yeah, I know what you're saying there, Doug. You're right. An inline one would be better, but I just wanted to mount something on the same thing, really, on the same position. How far will this one go across then? That's about as far as that one will go. So I'm going to have to bend this one facing. I know what I mean. Right. That's a bit overkill. Just make this one a bit neater. Make it look like it was supposed to be there. We are. I think that looks fine. No issues. I mean, right. Just need to do one more check, and that's to see that the plug will actually fit in the chassis with that cap there. So let's just see which way it goes. It goes that way. So it's a little bit close to there. A bit close to that one. I don't particularly like that. Yeah, I'm gonna have to alter that. So we're gonna need to pop another green wire in if I got one. Let me just see what the dogs are barking at a minute. They're barking at absolutely nothing, as usual. Let me just turn a light on for him. Maddie's got a bit of an upset tummy today. What are you making a noise for? Hey, you've got the music on, look. You got water. They got the music on. It's luxury for them. It's luxury for them dogs. It is a valve socket, Rich. Yeah, they've just used it for some reason. They've used a couple different valve sockets in this radio. Okay, so I'm going to need to increase the length of this ground wire here, because it's not fouling it, but it's just very close to it. I don't like that. So let's have a look. I've got some more green wire there. I just need to extend that a little bit, that's all. It's worth picking up a load of this sort of wire because it is very useful. Unfortunately, I used to get this from Maplins because you could go in and physically see the size of the wire they got in there. I'm not great at all these wire sizes. Okay, so that's actually solid core. I thought I had some multi-core. I have got some multi-core, but not in not in green. Anyway, it's only low voltage, so this will be fine. So I'm going to keep that on. Just need to monitor the voltage on the output with it connected to the radio chassis, really. That'll be the key. Yeah, they're just using up old stuff, I expect, Rich. So I'm just going to put a little hook in that. The flukes. Let's see if I can just get this back through the same hole. Ah. Okay. Ah, dear. Let's start again. Let's get my solder sucker in. I got a bit of solder stuck in the end of that. That's better. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing. The camera's picking up a bit of glare, but hopefully you can see roughly what I'm trying to do here. Or what a pig's ear I'm making of it, maybe. Right. So look, see if that's gone round. Yep. Right. Let's tidy that up a bit. Right. Virtually identical gauge to the existing wire by the looks of it. Give it a bit of a bend, give it a bit of slack. So I think we can probably do exactly the same as the other ones now. Just move this one down around the bend, down that. Ah, come on. About there. All right. There, sorted. So we now have a modern silicon rectifier in there. New caps. Just need to sort out what to do with this bit of tape here. I've got some pretty large heat shrink here. Might be too large though. Yeah, it would have to shrink to less than double that. That's a bit too big. Good stuff though, isn't it? It's like an inner tube, that. It's massive. Massive. Aston, how you doing, mate? Where's Aston? I didn't see Aston pop in. Bit nippy. It's not too bad here, Aston, to be fair. I've still got all the windows open. Just having a look at my heat shrink stash. I've got various sizes, but that's no. I could try it, I suppose. Wouldn't have to just put a little piece on there just to try it, would it? Let's cut a piece off and see. It might shrink around, you never know. I've got to be careful, I don't want to melt the insulation on the windings. Suppose. Let's see. Let's see what it'll do. What about a plastic case from a dead modern tuning cap? Oh yeah, I'm with you, Rich. Yeah. Let's see if this will shrink on a minute. I think this is asking too much of this. It's like a pig's ear, isn't it? It's like a pig's ear. I don't like pig's ear of it. Yeah, no. Just a little bit too big, that. I don't know. What do you think? It's like a pig's ear. Why? Because I want it to be like it, George. That's why. It's my radio. and I want that to be protected. I just don't like the bit of tape over it, George, to be fair. No. It's sort of nearly there, but not quite. So I think for the time being, all we can do is just wrap a better bit of tape around it. Another 1/4 inch less and that would have been fine, I think, but it's just too thick. Right. Okay. How are we doing for time? 16:51. Yeah, I don't really want to stick that around it. What's George saying? Will a ring fit around the top of the whole set of terminals, as when it shrinks it will curl over? I'm a botch artist. One wire is earth but dressed in blue. Yeah, that's exactly as it was from the factory, Harvey. You can't blame me for that one. I'm going to have to cut this screw off a little bit. That's not a major issue. Yeah, I don't like sticking that round there like that, but what else have I got here? I can stick some tape over the terminals, I suppose, some heat shrink. There's so much blimmin' stuff here. I'm just going through all my heat shrink stash at the moment just to see if I got anything. Just wondering whether a bit of that will go over both the terminals. That might, that might do it. Let's try that. That might do it. I'm just a fuss ass, am I? Just wondering whether that'll do it. What do you think? Ah, what about that? It's much better. Pretty warm. There. I'm not going to be able to touch that now. Happier. I just don't like sticking tape on it because the tape, it'll just come undone, won't it? As that bit had done. Much better. Okay, I think apart from cutting this screw off, so I could get the Dremel on that to cut that off, couldn't I? I could use my, I don't think my crimp pliers will go that big actually, but we'll try it. We can try it. So, these old crimp pliers are rubbish. They really are bad. But one thing they have got in the middle is they've got a little bolt cropper. So, let's whip this one back out again. It's worth picking one of these up just for this feature, really. That as crimp pliers, they ain't much cop, to be fair. Actually, I think they were supplied by a company I used to work for. So the idea is you find there's a thread. Obviously, you need to thread it in. Well, this is probably Imperial, isn't it? M3.5 is about the only one it fits. So I'm going to screw it in there. We don't need to cut a massive amount off. So I've screwed it through, and it's just a case of watch your eyes, shearing it off. There you are. So just cut that much off the end. So for that reason alone, they are worth getting. I'm sure you guys knew that anyway, but if you didn't, there you go. Another top tip. Now, will that nut go back on, or am I going to need to change a bloody thing anyway? Because I've now put an 3.5, an M3.5 thread on the thing. No, it doesn't like that, does it? It wouldn't do, would it? Let's just give the end a file over. Yeah. It didn't like that much, did it? Let's just get it caught if I can. Come on, you monster. Oh. I should have put the nut on. Yeah, good call, Benji. I should have put the nut on and run it down over, shouldn't I, really? You know, hindsight and all that. Brute force and ignorance always wins through, though. Live tap and die work. Yeah. I haven't got any Imperial tap and dies though, Rich. I have got lots of taps and dies, but they're all metric. I should have just got the Dremel out really and chopped the end off of it, shouldn't I, like I was going to do, but I thought it'd be easier and less dangerous. Let's make sure that's square. There we are. Sorted. Took a bit longer than I was going to, but there. Anyway, that's the power supply done then. That is the power supply done. Let's have a bit of a clear up. So we pulled the Selenium out of it. Probably nothing would have ever gone wrong with it, but you never know. You know, years down the line when I'm long gone and one of my lads has got that radio plugged in and it goes bang and stinks the whole house out, he would have said, well, why the hell didn't Dad change that? Harvey, how you doing? It was bad to the bone. It was looking at me funny, Harvey, so it had to go. It was looking at me funny, so it had to go, mate. But you're welcome to have it, Harvey. If you're into them and you love them, you can have it. You can have the bit of a thing. So there you are. We've got a nice modern rectifier in there, modern caps. So that should be good to go for many, many years to come. So there we are. So we got a little bit of time left. So I could show you this that I've been playing with. Well, I haven't been playing with it yet. It's anybody know what it is? Anybody got any idea? How you doing, Harvey? It's yours, mate. If you want it, I mean, it's a tenner plus VAT and postage to you, Harvey. it might be invaluable. I think we had a vote on it, Harvey, and the majority said get rid of the thing. I think even with your vote, you would have still been outnumbered, Harvey. So it's gone. It's gone. It's not coming back. So what's this then? What is it? A big Lego brick. It's a blue thing. It is. It is. Look at that. Oh, I've given it away now. You've seen the logo. You've seen the logo. Cool. I should be able to turn that light off now. So any of you that have watched Jan Beta and Adrian Black and Gadget 64 will know that one of the main issues with the old Commodore computers is that the power supplies go bad, and they chuck the wrong voltage up the back end of it and blow up all the rare and hard to get ICs. So over the Christmas period, I ordered up a load of these boards from PCBWay. They're not sponsoring me, so you know, it does look quite a nice board though, looking at it. And so I'm going to build myself a Commodore 64 power supply. The normal Commodore 64 power supply I've taken back in the other room. Basically they're potted and they're nigh on impossible to get apart to work on. Hi Rob, how are you? Broken blue thing. It's not broken, it's brand new. You guessed it correctly, Theo, did you? So, yeah, this has got a lot of very bizarre components on it that I'm not, well, I wouldn't say bizarre, but there's an IC in here somewhere. We've got 3 fuses in it, but there's, yeah, IC1 is one of these sort of fancy rectifiers. Cost £8 just for one rectifier. Well, it's not really a rectifier, it's a DC to DC converter. So basically this is the transformer. This is, I had to get this one, it was the only one that would fit this board. As I say, if anyone wants to know the place I got this board, then let me know and I'll put the link in the description or something. Right, Car?
Yeah, you all right?
Yeah. It's Mrs. Cruncher home. So it's got 2 9-volt secondaries on it. Obviously it's 2 40 volts primary, or 2 30 volts. It's made by Block, and RS was the only place I could get this in the UK. Far now I haven't got it, CPC haven't got it, so I've got this from RS. And as I say, these boards came from China. I've got 5 of these. I've got 5 Commodore 64s, so yes. Your beef is okay. Well done, Benji. We're glad to hear that your beef's good. So as I say, that fits very nicely. I was trying when I first got it, I was like this, flipping heck, it won't fit, it won't fit. Of course, let me get back to the main camera. I was thinking it won't fit, but of course it's got to go that way. So it does fit absolutely perfect. So whoever's designed the board, they've got their pinouts absolutely bang on. You say this probably won't fit in there now. Now I've said that. Can't see because I've turned my light off. Let's turn that light back on. Come on. There we go. So yeah, that's bang on, and all these holes line up perfectly. So I can bolt it to this board. So this is as far as I've got with it at the moment. It's I've got all the parts for it on order from Mauser. So once I've got all the parts, I can build this. I've got to try and find a case to put it in. Because obviously I don't really want it. It's just sat on the bench like that. But it's going to be an interesting little project to build that, and it's really nicely laid out. I looked at quite a few circuits for these boards, and this was the best one I could find. Not for this, the best PCB I could find for it, then, put it that way. Hi William, how are you? We're good, mate. Wrap it in insulation tape. I'll have to get some big heat shrink for it, George, won't I? Did I sell a kidney to buy it? RS semiconductors are not cheap with anything. I don't think it was massively expensive, the transformer. Let me just find out a minute for you. If anyone's interested. Let's see if I can find it. See if I can find it. Let's get back to the front camera anyway. RS components. Log in. Right. I think you'll find, I mean, I'm finding that some parts prices or component prices are shooting up at the moment. Let me just get into my account, my orders. I did have a bit of a play on my Commodore 64 the weekend. Okay, no thanks. I don't want a quick look, I just want to go straight to it. Let me go to it, stupid thing. Stupid thing. There we go. I've got there eventually. Well, they've only got 2 in stock. Ah. So it's £11.17 plus the VAT. Hi, Andrew. Yeah, AF127s are mega money. I don't think that's too bad for a fully encapsulated transformer, personally. They've only got 2 left. Strange, must be a bit of a run on them. I might have to order another one because I do want more than one of these power supplies. I mean, obviously if you order more they go down in price, but made in Germany, so it is a good quality transformer. There's a data sheet for it. Yeah, not brilliant. It's not the greatest data sheet really, is it? But, you know. So there, yes. That's the transformer that you need for it. And it's a VCM 36-2.9. And it's made by Block. So let me see if I can find the Mrs. Cruncher is home, so I will be folding up shortly, people, but let me just see if I can find the bookmark for you. You can have a look then. You can bookmark the I'll pop it in the, if I can find it, personal computer, is it there, blog? Okay, yes, this is Polish. So let's get you on the screen. Again, are you on the screen? Yeah, okay. So this is the, if anyone wants to follow along, I'll copy and paste that in. Into the chat. So this is the parts for it. Now, these links all go to some Polish site, I think. It's a Polish electronics supplier. It's got a link to PCB Waylet for the circuit boards. And Roman has made this, so thumbs up to you, Roland. Cracking bit of work, mate. So we got some diodes. We've got some strange diodes. I've not got a 1N5908. I've got plenty of 4007, so I've not ordered one of those. But this is the thing that's expensive. This Traco TSR. Anybody ever heard of that? And this is the transformer. But yeah, let's click on this link and I'll show you what this thing is. I've never. So it's a DC to DC converter. And the only place I could find it was Mauser, and it was £8 plus VAT. It's nearly as expensive as the transformer. Yeah, so RS wanted £11.98 for it, so I ordered mine from Mauser. £8 plus the VAT. So I don't know what's so special about this thing, but this is what he's designed the circuit board around. So I've had to order one. So it works out quite expensive, but at least I'm getting a real top quality power supply that I've built myself. You're still looking 40-50 quid to buy a new power supply for a Commodore 64 off of eBay, and I don't know the background on those. So anybody familiar with these things and why that's better than a normal sort of voltage regulator? I suppose it's high efficiency then, by the looks of it. Allows full load operation without any heat sink. Okay. Better output accuracy, lower standby current. So it's a fancy regulator, isn't it? And what was the one we wanted? TSR 22450. So it's this one here. So 5 volt, that's for the 5 volt supply. 94, between 89 and 94% efficient. 600 microfarad capacitive load. So there you are. Yeah, you should better use those, George. Rich. Sorry, I mean George. Yeah, I bought some AF117s from Burkett's many years ago. Rapid Online says the transformer's discontinued, Andrew. It is available. So George is saying they're a complete encapsulated switch mode unit, noisy but less loss. Okay. They're isolated as well. Switch mode. They're tiny, aren't they? So Andrew's saying you've been using a 2 amp 5 volt wall wart and a 9 volt AC wall wart plugged into double circuit. Yeah. I know, I've seen that done before, Andrew. I just wanted something that was all in one unit. I mean, that does look pretty neat, doesn't it? I mean, I'm wondering whether that'll actually fit inside an actual one. Let me just go and get the power supply a minute from the Commodore 64. Let me get the power supply. Oh Christ, falling over everything here. Did I put it back where it should go? Yes, I did. Okay. So if you search on YouTube, there's a guy on there that rebuilds these. So that's, pardon me, this is the original Commodore 64 power supply. This one's had a bit of a dink in it, but no, this one is bigger, look. So it is bigger. So I'm going to need to find a bigger case for it. That's a shame. I was hoping it would fit inside there, but it's not to worry. This is obviously a lot more efficient than this. I think it's a much lower consumption as well than the original. But these, as I say, you can take the bottom off of this, and these are totally potted. You cannot get inside these. The ones with the chamfer on them, you can usually get the regulator board out and leave the regulator in there and rework it. But these square ones, there's nothing you can do with these. And what happens is they dump, the regulator goes in them, and they fail high voltage, and instead of getting 5 volts out, God knows what you get out of it, but it ain't good. So I've only got, I think I've got 3 power supplies between 5 computers. So my idea was to build a couple of these. The other thing I've got is I've got some of those power saver boards. So basically it's like a little tiny module that you plug in between this and your computer. And if anything happens here, it just fails safe and it won't allow the voltage to go through. Yes, the PCBs, Andrew, if you look back, if we go back to that Matey's blog here, I'll run through. I didn't really go through that enough. I put the link in there. If you click on that link, Andrew, and save that, I did search, as I say, for quite some time to find that. Just trying to find where I put the thing now. That's here. Okay. No, we don't want that. We want the screen cap. Come on. Thank you. All right. So he's got a bit of materials there, and it's just a case of going through all of this list and trying to find something that we can get over here to compare it. It's got a house in there, look. So if we click that, nothing happens. Let's try opening it in a new tab. Okay. Oh, that doesn't look particularly good. It says it's not available, and it don't look great anyway. It just looks like an outdoor junction box, doesn't it? So I think we'd be able to come up with something a bit better than that, hopefully. So yeah, if you look at this list here, Andrew, there's a link there to PCB Whaler. So if you click on that, that'll take you to PCB Way. And this is where I ordered the circuit boards from. They're not cheap though. They're not cheap like the other bits. I think it was 26 quid for 5 of them. But to be fair, to build your own power supply, I think it's well worth it. So yeah, you just go into PCB Way, you add it to the cart, and away you go. So let's quickly catch up with the rest of the post from Roman. So this is what I'm going to be building, and we will do a video on it. Yeah, a nice Hammond box would be very nice, George. Every time I click something, it gets disappears my chat. So there's loads of bits and pieces. There's a few quirky bits, but most of it's available. Some of it I've already got. 160 milliamp fuses. Why are they so expensive? I don't know why. They're like £1 each for a fuse. What's going on there? So this is basically the board being built. And if we can zoom in a little bit, can we? Okay, that's better. So it uses a figure of 8 cables. Some of this stuff I won't bother with. So these P6KE diodes, I've never heard of those before, but I've ordered some from Mauser, but you know. So this is just some pictures of him. I mean, you can click on the pictures as well, and they come up large. So he really has put a lot of effort into this blog to show you how to build this. So there's that IC in there, look. Fuse holders, and this is the bi-directional diodes, I think. Yeah. $2,200 at 50 volt Nichi cons. Don't think I've got any of those either, so I've had to order one of those in. Got one of these encapsulated capacitors. I don't know if that's X or Y rated. I'm not 100% sure. I can't remember now for the list. But there's the transformer, exactly the same as mine. So the board is really built around this transformer. So if you can't get this transformer, then you're going to struggle with the board. And you notice it's still got a rectifier in it as well. Look. That's going to be for the 9 volts AC, I suppose, isn't it? No, it's not, because that's a rectifier. What are you going on about, Graham? Yeah, I'm not sure. Not sure. Shut up, Graham. So that's a pin out on the Commodore 64. So you've got to get yourself a 7-pin plug. Again, his diode, I can't find an equivalent diode to his. It's a really bright diode. I mean, that doesn't look too bad in that box, actually. It looks better than the picture. It's a rectangular box, but it's like an external junction box, really, isn't it? Yeah. But there's a whole tutorial that tells you exactly how to put it all together. I think it's a great little project, that. Looking forward to building that once all the bits come. But as I say, I'm waiting on... What? Why? So, yeah, there you go. So well done, Roman. Great power supply. Let's get rid of that. No worries, Andrew. Yeah, one of those die-cast ones, George, would be very nice, wouldn't it? I'll have to measure it all up, measure the holes in it, and just see if I can find a box that will fit in. You've got some with a switch and a fuse holder. Needs a Schaffner on the mains. What the hell's that, George? A Schaffner. Yeah, I don't want to go to AliExpress, George, so I don't want them in a month's time. I want them now, you know? It's all very well. It's really cheap, obviously, buying stuff from China, but you've got to wait an absolute age. If you're trying to make something and you want to make it like now, it's pointless. You've got to plan ahead for stuff like that, George. Oh, it's a filter. Okay, George. Both of your Dragon mains transformers still work fine too. They may do, George, but the problem is if you've got no protection on the thing and they do fail, they tend to fail. They don't just go dead; they go high voltage, and that's going to kill your computers. This is the problem. And there is a power saver thing as well. I'll show you that as well. I'm sort of over time here, but let's do it. I'm sure Mrs. Cruncher won't mind. She doesn't like me being on it too long. Well, she doesn't mind, actually, to be fair. Mrs. Cruncher is absolutely good as gold. As you're all aware, very lucky to have Mrs. Cruncher. I'm trying to find the power saver. It's a chap called BWAC who's got, again, he's got a YouTube account. BWAC C64 saver. Here we go. GitHub. There we are. So BWAC. Let's go a bit bigger on this. So basically this is exactly what it's for. Anyone using the older Commodore brick together with a 64, 20 to 30 years old, it's known to fail with over voltage. So this guy has designed this circuit. Where is it? So it fits in this Hammond 1551G project case, and I've got some of those, and they're dead cheap, really cheap. I don't know where they are now because there's a massive great load of them here somewhere. It's like one of them old concertina credit card things. Oh, I can see them. There's all sorts of things. There's add-on boards with OLED displays on and all sorts. But all I've done is got the board, the basic board. It's a relay hole board. Gerbers. So there's Gerbers. So all you do is you download the Gerber and then upload it to PCBWay, and you've got yourself let's just go back to normal screen size. Press 11. So it's fairly straightforward components. It's all axial stuff, you know, all through hole stuff, apart from the MOSFET, which is an SMD. As a small signal transistor, I haven't got any of these 2N7000s. I don't know how crucial this particular one is, but again, I have ordered some, I think. But there you are. That's another thing that I'm going to make at some stage. Just get the... It says trash and everything as usual. That's a little enclosure, Hammond enclosure. And where's my boards? So that's the little Hammond enclosure. That's a little tiny box. And this board is designed to fit exactly into it. So again, I've ordered just 5 boards, and I think they were $5 for 5 boards, $1 each from PCB Waylet. So, you know, as I say, I'm not promoting PCB Way, but their stuff does look pretty good. So yeah, that's another little project, and basically what happens with that is you put a 7-pin DIN socket in there. That plugs into there. And then you plug the other end into your computer. So your power supply is going through this little box of tricks, and it will stop your nice vintage computer getting zapped, basically. Hi, Johnny. Have you killed anyone with the advent calendar helicopter yet? I've only flown it in the kitchen, Johnny, and I've chopped up the fridge freezer with it, and the chairs and the chopping board. But it needs to go outside, really. I keep meaning to do it, but I haven't done it. I haven't got around to it yet. Manuel's PCB is on PCB Way. What, the BFO one, George, or the one he's done recently? He's done a few now, hasn't he? But, could have carved the turkey. Yeah, could have chopped it up, couldn't I? Well, people, as I say, I thought I'd just pop on today. It's been a quickie. We've got a few bits done, though, haven't we? We've got a few bits done. We've had a good play with the power supply. We've converted it to silicon and checked it. It seems to be good. We've got a bit further on. Less to do this Sunday. This Sunday we should better recap the power supply and away we go. Oh, you bought the BFO one, George, did you? You bought white ones with black writing. Yeah, there's all sorts you can do. So there you are, people. I'm going down to see Mrs. Cruncher now and get sorted, ready for doing our pizzas. Pizza night tonight. So I'll catch you people on Sunday. I don't think I'll be back on. No, I won't be back on again this week, but I'll see you on Sunday, people. So cheers for now. We did have one contribution in today from Andrew. Andrew Littleboy. Let's have a quick look. He jumped in. Not Andrew. Simon. Simon. So Simon donated £10 right at the very start. I ain't even gone live. Simon donated a tenner. So thank you very much, Simon. Yeah, we've had a few in. Look, we're up to nearly 70. So yeah, okay. Gives me encouragement to do more, people, doesn't it? Because if nobody's watching, then what's the point, you know? So there we go. So let's get rid of me, picture in picture. So that's all, people. I'll catch you on Sunday. Thanks for joining me today. Been a bit last minute to come on, but hopefully you all got the notification today. I did post it on all the social media stuff, so there you are. Any questions, pop me an email or drop me a message in the messenger group. So bye for now, people, and stay safe. Stick to the rules. Hopefully we'll get over this stuff when we get this vaccine. We'll all be back to normal one day. Cheers for now.